I am too, and look at that perk that they voted on the top hunter. Look at that. I'm sure Nolby would be happy of them. It would be actually, yeah, he's on the team. I'd be completely proud of Smunk bringing this choice in, eh?
Yeah, definitely. It does seem like a nosy perk, but it's also a smunk perk, quite funnily enough. Now, we're just going to find the box over at 1 here, and we're going to be seeing all of the survivors, all we can. We do see 3 on the bottom side of the map, and it does appear to be that the uncorrupted generators are more over that side. So we're just going to be rotating over to 4 here, seeing if we can find anyone working these, and not really quite finding any stealth outs at the moment. CatJam playing really well what they're known for to stealth out at the start of the game, and I say that, and we do spot Maya, who's going to be taking chase all the way over to Shaq, and I think she just got hit by the chain there. Unfortunate, and I do say this is going to result in a tag. Unlucky for Maya getting tagged there and just vaulting the window, trying to break away from the chase a little bit and just run straight down to 5, or just maybe continue looping around the Shaq here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it still has that god power, and I believe that's also going to be. I couldn't really know. I think it's a 4 lane, so nothing too serious here on the bot side, but it is still near the Shack Den, which is corrupted, so it's not the most egregious death spot. But it seems like Smug actually won't be able to make up too much distance here, and Maya does make the TL, but unfortunately, I believe this is where I believe the chase will end without any fillers, and that pallet gym a little bit too far away on the 4 tile. I think it's just going to be the down in the corner 5, and I would say like a relatively fast down, but at the same time, like that's nearly 2 minutes of the corrupt intervention gone. But the gen split, I think, of the corrupt is also quite strange. There's 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom, so that kind of leads me to believe that Monk is actually hooking in a pretty sparse area of the map in terms of gen density, and we would be right, because like there's like this at 5, 6, and like, oh my, it's just such a weird gen split.
The pain res onto that generator over at 7, unfortunately getting hit now. We're not going to be able to work on it since the hook is there. Did have a quite solid first chase, I might say, you know. Nevertheless, going to be taking chase now onto Mercy over in main and getting tagged by the chains, but not injured. Breaking the generator over at main now, and I dare say we're going to be committing this, or maybe choosing not to and go back to hook, play a little bit more defensive, you know, a little bit of option selecting right there. Now we're just going to go all the way back to hook and try to chain Maya and try to get this tunnel out as soon as possible. Keep in mind that there's no generators being done at the moment, and she's just going to go down, unfortunately, as a result of slow vaulting that pallet after being chained, Harvey.
Yeah, and that's just going to be a fairly fast second hook for May, I'd say. We haven't even seen a gen pop. I mean, of course, there's 3 pain resonance, but now I guess I see that one pop. I'm going to assume that our second survivor, Fizz, or Mercy, is going to finish that second generator. Is actually, I believe, the main building, so that's just going to be interrupted for free, but maybe I don't have the game audio on. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, having this hook, oh yeah, 80% on that gen. Having this hook right next to main in this like kind of shallow 4-gen area, that is really not a good place for the survivors, especially because Monk does have actually, well, which add-on is that actually, Hunter? I was not paying attention.
Is that impaling wire and something else? I do believe. I can't really tell because of the icons being too small and not really. Yeah, that'd be pretty good if you could do that, Tavi, but I'm just going to be taking over a little bit of the commentary here while we try to get this unhook onto Maya, now popping the second generator over the trial over at 7, and it did lead me to believe that they would hop on that since Smunk has just opted to try and cap Maya to death over at main. Gaffy coming in for the save now. I think she might be able to get this just in time before Maya hits death, and Smunk going to do his best to do a little bit of body blocking, but we're going to be taking that tag onto Gaffy now running away, and Smunk now going to be, I dare say, just trying to get Maya out of the trial as soon as possible. She's just going to be taking chase all the way over to 4, 5 at the moment, pre-dropping that pallet, and Gaffy's going to be taking the down, trying to get Maya away. And I do believe, was that a FTP play just there? I didn't manage to quite catch that. Everybody's broken because of forced penance, but wait, I'm just not too sure because Maya's healthy now, so I completely missed that.
Yeah, I think if there's someone going to be in prison, it's not going to be me. It's actually the survivors, because either they cheated or they used it for the people, and it's actually a fairly effective play because I did check what the purple add-on was, and it was not the Visional Pain, which causes deep wound. It's actually the Impaling Wire, which is, of course, the other popular one, which makes the chains spawn more when its environment does break them. And yeah, Smunk, instead opting for the extra range, I feel like it's gonna have its downsides. Like, you have everyone injured here. With the extra range, of course, like, the reach across the father grapple trap is really, really nice. But at the same time, you're not gonna force the survivors into any deep wound. You can't really do any hook shenanigans to deny the endurance. And, I guess, yeah, maybe it was a consideration with the Force Penance pick, but at the same time, he's still chilling at the moment. So I think it's fine that he has the extra range on the chain, but it's just gonna get, I believe it's just a 3 down. Yeah, it is 3 down onto Mercy. Just can't make a jungle gym here, and yeah, it's just transitioning the pressure nicely. He has the tunnel up, but then force the survivors to overcommit the resources to save that survivor, and then you kind of ended up having 3 crash hooks now, which I think is really, really good. Smunk is playing this quite nicely. I think Hunter, if I'm not mistaken, this should be outs for survivors, but at the moment, Smunk is putting in a lot of work in terms of like how many hooks he's getting.
Definitely a lot of pressure applied by Smunk in this match. I will say that, Tavi. I did expect it, to be honest. I mean, Smunk just being a Cenobite main, and you know, it is banned across everybody who versus Sanity for a reason. But CatJam really tried to challenge it here by not banning it straight up. Nevertheless, we're gonna be seeing Smunk run over to this 5 and see if there's anyone working this generator. I think he is looking for Maya the tunnel out because he has seemed to have lost her. That is a point in... Oh, we see her over at Shack. That is a point in the way of our survivors at the moment, is that Maya is the tunnel out and she did manage to escape it all. So she's able to just sit behind and just do the generators in the background, and everybody else is just one hook at this point in time. We see the chain onto Gaffy and she's just not able to drop that pallet, unfortunately. And that will just spell her. Oh, wait, we're going for a pallet save, but unfortunately missing it. Fizz. Oh, no. That's unfortunate. A little bit of a spin with the flashlight as well. She knew that. That was just unlucky, unfortunately. Now we're just going to be taking this hook onto Gaffy and going all the way back to where Fizz was. She's not injured, though, so she has the chance to juice up and kind of, you know, come back from her little mishap over at this pallet over at 12, but she's just decided to W away from that, and we do see the generator that Maya was on Shack popping in the background, and we're just going to opt to maybe camp Gaffy to death here. I'm not too sure what Smunk has in store at the moment. He is in control of this match. He really has a lot of options as to oppose of what he can do, but for some reason he has left the hook. He did know Fizz was around this top side, so it's quite an interesting play for him to really move away so far. Maybe he is looking for Maya the tunnel out. As we see the reset coming over at 2, maybe we can get a quick switcheroo to where the killer is at the moment, so we can get a nice thought on his next action, and he has found the tunnel out, which is Maya, who's going to be taking chase over towards the Shack side of the map. And she does have the box in hand, unfortunately. If she gets hit down, she is dead, and that will be everybody revealed on the location of the map of where they are. So we're going to have an absolutely crazy chase and somehow escape if we are not to give away the position of all of our teammates and dob them in. That is so unlucky, and that will be Maya out of the game, unfortunately, at 2 gens remaining. So all things considered, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's going to be very hard for the survivors to pull back. In this case, Harvey, I do suspect we'll be getting anywhere between maybe 2 stages out the door to a 4K1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely looking much more grim for the survivors, no pun intended. But it's you have to wonder about that main generator, which I think on a lot of the main building maps, I think we think about it in comp as like double or nothing. Like if you can't like double it out at the start and get it done, then it just goes back to 0, which is I think the problem here. If CatJam did have the main generator completed before Maya was hooked there, and then it started regressing all the way down to 0, then they would have a much easier time trying to force Smunk into going for fresh stages. But in this case, Smunk is completely happy knowing that there's still another 180 seconds of generators left in this trial to work, and yeah, you can just commit this fairly nicely and just get another hook on the board for this, which I believe will be the 8th, which is a sizable number already. Very nice.
Oh my!
That was a nice chain, but I don't really know if it mattered, unfortunately, as the box was solved just in time. Lucky for our survivors, but what's again not lucky for them is the amount of gen progress they have, and even though they don't really have a 3-gen Hunter, I don't think it matters too much because Smunk has proven that he can like find most of our survivors. Maybe he won't be able to find a topside survivor though. So it really rolls down to this, because if you can find the stealth, then it might just be like another like game-winning thing for Smug. But we'll have to see how that pans out, Hunter.
Yeah, and we're going to take this kick over at 12-1, and we do see the reset coming in all the way bottom side. Gaffy doing a little bit of stealthing inside of the locker. You love to see it, and I do think she'll be able to make that free, not being able to be found out. Smonk not realizing it. If we can get a quick switch around back to where Smonk's gone, he's gone all the way over to 2. But he does know someone's hiding around the top side of the map, and he will be utilizing his chain to kind of see where they are on the map. That's actually a really good play there. To be honest, he wasn't planning on hitting anyone. He just wanted to see if there was anyone crossing over at 12. I really like that by Smonk. I'm actually going to use that now that I know that. He's just using it for that in that regard. Nevertheless, we're going to be still searching all around this top side to see if there is any stealth outs, and we have found Mercy, who's just sitting around the 10 side of the map, pre-dropping this pallet gym, now running around to the long side, and I don't think she'll be getting tagged here. I think she might make the pallet, but unfortunately trying to do a little bit of an FOV tech, not quite working in her favor. I do believe that's what was happening there. She is going to get chained at just outside of main, but continue on the chase all the way down to the bottom side, and you can only hope that the survivors will be pressing the generators, maybe doubling to get at least one more pop just before Smonk can get this down. And I'm not too sure if Mercy has been pain res yet. I'm not even too sure if she's been hooked, to be honest, but nevertheless she has been hooked, but she is going down. And that will be the hook onto Mercy. They did manage to get that top generator procced, and that is exactly what they needed for the 4K1 result at the moment, Tavi. I do say it's heading more towards in that position, but we could potentially see outs if the survivors are competent of playing to at least just last a little bit in their chases.
Hunter, I feel like they should. They've only dropped like 4 pallets at the time match. That's another one added to the list, by the way. A bit of wood here, but the Smug really didn't care and managed to somehow get a chain over this jungle gym, which, by the way, I have to say, 2 long wall gyms on this map, that's a bit criminal. But anyway, like still, this survivor here, Gaffy, still has like another filler on 3, has like probably a main building window to chain into as well. A lot of good resource to use, and yeah, I mean, it's just enough time for that final generator to pop. So unfortunate no 4K in our first Cenobite set, but still good showing from Smunk, you know. I know that like other killers struggle way more on this map. Like Demogorgon can go single digit stages, but Smunk's already closing in on that double digits, and I feel like because Gaffy has already been hooked, it's going to result in a 10 stages if he gets down, but still, Gaffy still has like a load of distance here on main, so if he can maintain this towards that bot side gate, which I think one did spawn, then he can actually potentially consider getting out of this alive, but no, he's just going to go down on the edge map, and maybe our survivors take the outs here, but still, two stages out. Hunter, that's your prediction, and it seems like you might be right.
It will be 2 stages out the door. That will spell the end for Gaffy, but that was really good and well thought out and played out by them in the late game. That is what you love to see on the side of CatJam, unfortunately for Spong not being able to capitalize on that 4K1, but nevertheless, still really a good result for Cenobite.
Unfortunately, they just missed week 1 and had a bye week 2. Week 1 thanks to it being the lack of a team. But yeah, now we do finally get to see them play and see what they've been cooking all this time. So I guess we did see Force Penance in that first trial, and they definitely have been thinking a lot. But this time on the Survive side, we have to see how they play out the chase. But we're chasing Nolzy first. Oh no, that's already the first mistake.
Is it the first mistake? Unfortunately, we're going to get a whiff there onto Nolzy, not quite getting the tag onto him, and he's going to do a little bit of the juice around the tree, not quite making it, unfortunately, getting hit by those chains. Really well played by Gaffy, and we're going to be continuing on all the way down to Shaq on the bottom side of the map, which just leads me to believe that there will be gen pressure over behind us at the moment. A very good place to be taking the first chase, and a very strong place at that. Nolzy going to be dodging the chain very nicely, running around it, just running also back into Shaq, and now running the long side, and this has just extended the chase on by so long. Now we're just going to be able to have like a really long one, and we've just kind of lost him in the process at the moment. He has run back all the way down to the long side of the jungle gym. Just Gaffy really struggling to get this down onto Nolzy here, doing a little bit of mind games and catching him off guard. Never mind, I'm eating my words. That was really well played out by Gaffy. Unfortunately, Nolzy not really playing the spots quite effectively, and now we're going to have the first hook of the trial all the way in the basement, Tavi.
Oh man, I can imagine Nolzy fuming over that one. Like, would be calling Gaffy an idiot to go for that, but I guess Nolzy was the one getting outsmarted there, and Although that's a really long down, I guess Gaffy did manage to get these two easels out of the way, which is really nice. But I feel like this is the start that CatJam really needed in the previous trial. Like yeah, look at this now. Gaffy loses the first gen here, has a deadlock as well, and this is kind of where the build starts to backfire a little bit. Like you're kind of trying to exploit the early pressure, early downs coming in with Devour Hope, but with that first down being so long, like allowed pretty much two generators to pop, one being saved by deadlock, of course, means that like I don't think the Devour Hope really is going to get too much value this trial because yeah, it's just going to be feeling the heat immediately after this first hook. So it does luckily though find nobody pestering it the generators that are active, but that just does mean that they are sitting patiently. Either look at that, yeah, one's on the save, one's on the box, Salo's doing a gen. So yeah, really good punish from Sanity, and it seems like oh wow that they're actually going for a really late unhook, and I'm surprised they didn't actually go for a Kamatech there because I really wanted to see a Kamatech hunter, but unfortunately didn't see one.
Yeah, and just like even buying enough time to get that really late unhook has just allowed Gaffy to come back to the hook preemptively, and just not too sure. I think they should have maybe pulled just like a little bit earlier. I don't really know what the thought process was there. Nevertheless, taking the tag onto Ranger, but not chasing Ranger and opting to go for Nolsey, trying to get this tunnel out as soon as possible. CatJam playing really well in this regard and downing Nolsey. Now, this could be an early tunnel out. This is exactly what you need if you're on the side of CatJam. We do see the second generator in the trial proc in the background as a result of this chase, but still just like I'm not too sure, Tavi. I mean, we might be able to get a second stack of Devour here after hooking Nolsey. It hasn't been destroyed yet, has it? I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to where the totem spawns were. Here's a totem spawn inside a shack. No, is that I didn't get to quite see it. No, they're both still up, so you do still have Rowan and Devour Hope at the moment. So now we're going to be trying to see if we can find anybody else over in this main side of the map, and going to be seeing Ranger just running around trying to maybe do another generator over at the top side over at 12, and just where's the rest of the team at this point in time? I'd really like to know. So we do have a Smokey sitting on this generator over at what seems to be on 10. And that just only begs the question, is Aklis just stealthing around for the pull at the moment since we have two gens under pressure? And she's just stealthing all the way over at 5 at the moment. And I do believe Gaffrey will be trying to force a death onto Nolsey at this point, which is exactly what you want, but just like ran a little bit too far from the hook at the moment. The spread's actually in our favor if you're on the side of the survivors, Tavi.
I mean, yeah, for sure. At the same time, this FTP I think is a little bit questionable. I mean, understandably the kill wasn't right there, but Nolsey takes the tag anyway for this, and only has this jungle gym to kind of play out. I don't think he had any fillers around, and he might need some additional help here because I think he might be going down. But it is actually Nolsey, and seems like this battle has been reset. That's an any means necessary that has come in from my survivor side, and Gappy might be able to secure an M1 here for sure. But like this is a little bit again more optimal for our survivor side because it's near pallet, and if we do see maybe a non-fizzy thing, then okay, no pallet hit comes in. So, yeah, maybe this is where things turn for better for CatJam because Gaffy gets this kill at 2 gens, similar time to the last trial, I would say, but he does have the active ruin and a deadlock still available with one Devour stack, which I will say is not that much at the moment, but can definitely catch the survivors off guard if they're not being careful, which I think is what he needs. That he needs that ace in the hole, and if he can secure those additional stages and get the stacks, and yeah, maybe we do see some problems. But no, that's actually 2 being completed here, and Gaffy's again feeling the heat under this deadlock. At least block the generator, but yeah, he doesn't know where anyone is, and he might have a little bit of trouble trying to secure a couple more stages in this trial, Hunter.
Yeah, probably. I mean, both of the totems are still up at the moment, and we didn't get the second stack onto Devour, unfortunately. We're going to see the reset happening over at 2, 3. if we can just get a quick switch around now to where the killer is at the moment, just seeing what the next plan of action is, we do see Claudette just over at that bottom side, and we do see Gaffy just trying to find out that reset, not quite finding it. It is on the other side of the map, unfortunately. We have roamed quite far away from our generators here, considering that they're all relatively really close to one another at this point in time. We do have Shack and we do have Main to be ping-ponged, but we also do have, I'm not too sure if that would be Ruin or Devour Hope over in that Shack, to be honest, so we're just going to roam all the way back over to Shack, see if we can spot anyone out. We do see Ranger on that generator pre-leaving and wrapping around to the corners check spot. So we're going to see what we can kind of do around this Shack tile at the moment, and not quite getting the chains. We're going to be vaulting the window and now trying to catch Ranger off guard, but reading it perfectly. He's going to be able to play around it, and like clockwork, he's just not making any mistakes, opting to go all the way over to this 5 side. And I dare say that maybe that Smokey and Atlas are probably just pumping Main at the moment. So if we can get Main out of the way and definitely have like a juicer chase over here, and like I just said, we're going to be seeing a lot more outs in this game than the last one, unfortunately for the side of CatJam, but fortunately for the side of Sanity, playing this really, really well. Now this is Sanity's pick, all things considered, so it would be interesting to see how they go in the Demogorgon set, which is the pick of CatJam, Tavi.
Yeah, I mean, really solid performance from Sanity here. Hasn't even given away that first rook, and they might actually play for more Ranger. Oh, okay, trusting the ping there, I see. He lives dangerously, but yeah, currently looking towards a potential of even 3 stages out the 3 stages out the door for these 3 survivors. As I correct myself there, and yeah, Ranger's just gonna be able to get Hatch. Oh, 3 stages Hunter, but Demogorgon definitely something they've trimmed and practiced diligently. So coming into season 3's bouncing, but Gaffy's actually found a first survivor pretty quickly, or the remnants of the first survivor. They just disappeared, and disappeared into thin air, and I'm sure that'll be good for our survivors, but at least Gaffy does manage to pick up the second chase here. I think that was going to be yes, the Smokey taking the chase, and he's got some decent RNG around here, so I think it's going to be a nice to take here. But I'm not entirely sure in terms of the performance, but it seems like survivors seem very, very confident from the observation that I made.
Yeah, definitely. And now we're going to be opting to leave that chase from Smokey and go to something in more of a favorable position for our killer here. We do see Ranger taking chase all the way down to mid 12. Now going to be using this LNT and vaulting the T, but just not quite making anything. Just trying to bait out the lunge there from the Demogorgon, but getting hit in the process, unfortunately. Now running all the way back into Shack. The head-on coming in from, I do believe that may have been Nolsey. Now not able to get that down onto Ranger, and Ranger's going to be able to make away from that chase absolutely free, and it is Nolsey who's going to be taken all the way down to 3 at this broken bus here. And maybe hopefully we can get a quick 2-tap onto Nolsey if you are on the side of Gaffic, but if you're on the side of Sanity, you'll definitely want to be seeing Nolsey have an absolutely juicer of a chase, just using these little fillers in between the broken bus, not quite using any pallets at the moment, being able to delay attack for so long. This is working really well into our favor for Nolsey. Now he's going to be running to this broken jungle gym tile, it's kind of like a 4 walls, to be honest. It's not a jungle gym, but nevertheless, we're going to be trying to down Nolsey as quickly as possible, playing around it super well, but unfortunately getting caught out at that pallet there and going down, and that will be the first hook of the trial. That's still 5 gens remaining. Oh, and the pallet save! That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and that's just such a huge boon for survivors. Nolsey, manages to make another filler pallet and continue this chase, which has already been going for such a long time. This originally started on Smokey, then it went to Ranger. Ranger got tagged, and then Nolsey took the aggro all the way into the co-op. So I'm not surprised to see another generator pop here. And I think if Shack wasn't erupted, then it would already be completely gone for Gaffy. But yeah, really, really solid start here for Sanity, and they definitely are looking to stage it out the door. However, there is a little bit of a spicy pick as well from Gaffy, I believe, on the left-hand side of the perks. You see machine learning, and that might actually catch us survivors off guard, but maybe only once, as you do actually find a Crow reset here at 11. So Gaffy, I think, gonna decide to chase this, or maybe actually just sets a portal and heads back. I would have just assumed that he went for Fresh's Hunter, understanding that he was not really in a position to tunnel, but no, he's playing it a little bit territorial around the Rector's yard, and I feel like our survivors are just sitting gens playing very patient. So yeah, I have to say Sanity is handling this very, very nicely.
Definitely. Just going back to the build, I actually didn't manage to see machine learning until you had pointed it out. But that's on me for not checking the build as soon as we loaded into the match. And we do see the stock standard add-ons, but nevertheless, we're going to be taking chase on all the way on back to Smokey, who's just going to be running around this tile over at 2. Is he going to be able to make the pallet? He is going to be able to make the pallet. That's mind-boggling that he actually didn't get hit there. Able to move away just in time. And now, big hit through the pallet, Smokey. You can't do that after an amazing juice, mate. What are you doing? Getting picked up, and I thought I heard someone going for the pallet save, but not quite getting it. Now we're taking the hook onto Smokey. We're going to be placing down the portals, and we do have one over at 11, which is, I dare say, the one that we're going to be traversing to. And now just appearing out of nowhere, seeing if we can catch anybody off guard. The machine learning coming back into it. No, it's not coming back into effect because we didn't kick that generator. Never mind. So there, it is applied onto Shaq at the moment. So it's interesting to note, right, Tavi?
Yeah, and I think Shaq is, funnily enough, the worst gen that you can have it on. As Gaffy actually, unfortunately, misses that shred. That would have been really nice to hit, but Nolzy still in the chase, and Mage so much distance towards this top side. It's kind of stupid, honestly. That you can just get this and has another filler. So, I think like Demogorgon should like always be out, especially on this map. Nolzy did lose a bit of distance there, but still should be able to play this out. Oh, never mind, he's getting yeah, it's a bit of a problem because he's hooked in the generator setup on this bot side, which I don't think they've actually managed to pop a single one, because you saw like that 9 gen there, the lights being done, you saw the gen at 1 as well, meaning that logically they were on the top side, so the bot side gen setup is still there, and yeah, it's completely correct as Gaffy does manage to also catch 10 with an eruption. And Nolzy is suddenly our tunnel out again, and we won't be seeing head-on shenanigans if Gaffy tunnels him out, I guess, which is sad, but yeah, maybe I feel like Sanity should realize that tactically they need to be working those bot side gens so they don't end up getting 3 gen.
Yeah, definitely. And now I just dare say we're going to be going back and trying to get Nolzy out of the game as soon as possible before that we get to that 3v1 at the one generator remaining, sorry. But he is ran all the way down to the bottom side of the map, and this gen split is looking pretty dire for Gaffy, unfortunately. Now, playing around this filler really well and getting stunned in the process is going to be able to give Nolzy the ability to make Shaq just scot-free, being able to vault that, pre-dropping that pallet as well. Going to be opting to run all the way back down into 5 maybe, and going to be dying deep over there, and that is probably the play if they're all just committed onto 11 at this point in time. And now he's just going to be trying a little bit of the Z-Wall vaults, but vaulting into the loving embrace of Gaffy, and now that will spell the end onto Nolzy. 2 gens remaining, 4 hooks in the trial. This is actually looking pretty good, Tavi. You know, if we can stop this and I say that, and we didn't manage to, unfortunately, stop that generator. Oh, wait, they had another one done in the... Wait, what? So there were 2 splitting? Is that what I'm seeing right now?
I think they doubled. I think they must have like doubled that 6 gen, and that means that, yeah, suddenly that 3 gen I was talking about is completely gone. And Zerky's actually just gonna force a locker. I do find that interesting, but I guess he doesn't want to force to start going in. Oh yeah, 6 stages, right? Because has Smokey been hooked yet? It doesn't really matter.
No, it's 6 stages because he's been hooked, unfortunately. Yeah. The other 2 do escape the trial untouched, and, you know, not the survivor that you do want if you're the side of Gaffy, but nevertheless, still a fairly good result on the C tiers. 6 stages on the 7 side of the map, and the survivors more to the 2 and 3 side, now going to be walking all the way over to the mid side and utilizing the portals really early. I like this play at the moment. We're going to be scouring the map to see what kind of gen spread we have. The build being very similar, if not the exact same. We have Corrupt Intervention, Pain Res, Machine Learning, and Eruption alongside with the same add-ons we saw last game. I do believe that is Barbara's Glasses and the Black Heart on the Demogorgon. Now going to be opting to put a little more portals down. And we're going to be activating them in the process. Going to be still scouring to see if anybody is around. And CatJam do what CatJam does best. I'm just going to say that, Tarvi. When I was in CatJam, we'll just like stealth out Corrupt for the whole entirety of it. Don't give yourself up. And that does seem to be what they're doing at the moment. But we did see a little bit of progress at Shaq, so they are playing a little bit more aggressive than I would have thought. But we do see Maya over at 6 now, working this deep 6 generator. She's not going to get caught out. I think we're looking more towards the side of somebody else, but no, we do see that Ranger has picked up on the fact that there is someone over in Deep 6, and we have caught out Maya, who will be running this car filler. Instantly breaking it is Ranger, and now the chase is going to continue all the way down to the 5 side of the map, and Maya able to make enough distance to try and make something else. Being able to dodge that is absolutely crazy. She is playing really good at the moment, getting tagged unfortunately from the Demogorgon lunge, and being able to make this 3 crane filler here, pre-dropping that instantly, but she doesn't really have much more to work with unless she has an edge map filler here, but she doesn't. She's just going to run all the way into the corner, and this is going to be a fairly early down, unfortunately. She was able to bide enough time to at least get maybe 1 generator, the proc of 1 generator, but I'm just not too sure if there was any gen pressure to facilitate that, Tavi.
Yeah, I feel like thanks to the really slow start, survivors did have a bit of time to they had to take a bit of time to rotate to the uncropped side, and then suddenly the chase is also on the uncropped side. So might have a little bit of progress here on this west side generator at 9. But then also Shaq, I think, was being committed there. And we can see Vanger, yeah, does catch Mercy on the Shaq gen, and actually just sets a commit here. Again, a very smart play, understanding that the win condition is a low state performance. He only needs to rack up a couple of hook stages this dragon. So actually does interrupt Gaffy as well at Shaq, and maybe also commits, but no. I'm fairly surprised he's not committing for this down, because if Vanger just like can just like get a couple of hooks here and there, kill, that I think should really be enough. Especially because the stage, the first stage is required is only 2, so to tie, so 3 to win on the 6-stage win condition. And a CatJam, I guess they might just have to abandon Shaq, which we did see in the previous trial ended up being a little bit detrimental to them. In the Cenobite, they had to abandon main, then they gave Spunk a 10 stage, but this could be a little bit worse. But oh, there is a stealthing Mercy dead, and she is not going to be found. Okay, criminal. Beautiful.
No, that's criminal. Yeah, Mercy, that is insane. She was just Peepo stealth right there, just not being able to be caught out, and now Maya able to make this Shaq and just pre-drop that in the process and just buy enough distance to go all the way down over to mid 12 here, where we do have this pallet at our disposal. Very nice pallet into a God window, not opting to go for the God window, so able to unfortunately getting caught out there after dropping the pallet. Now that's actually still a really early down, and like thankfully she is not death hook at the moment. She was able to be pulled in time. There is quite a lot of gen pressure on the map at the moment, so it's definitely still doable for us survivors here. We will be taking the hook onto Maya over in the basement now. Ranger gonna be sniffing out to see if he can find anybody else and try to get those freshers on the board. You know, if he can find at least one more survivor to, you know, hook at this point in time, I dare say he is looking more towards beating the win con. He was in a more favorable position after having that hook over at 4 and just being able to push survivors off of that Shaq generator. But nevertheless, now more into the present time of things in time, we do see Gaffy just taking this chase around the rock filler over at 7, but we're just going to have none of it if we're at the side of Ranger, and we're going to try and get this tunnel out onto Maya as soon as possible. So we do spot the scratch marks in the pools of blood leading us all the way down to deep 12. Are we going to be able to have a really long chase? This is what you need to be praying for if you are on the side of CatJam. Unfortunately getting caught out, not quite utilizing the 4 wars effectively, but Mercy Death coming in for the body blocks is going to be absolutely troublesome for Ranger to be able to get this down onto Maya at the moment. She's going to be taking that body block and running all the way back. Now Maya able to make this broken 4 wars filler and running around it effectively, but unfortunately getting caught out before making the pallet, and that will be the death onto Maya at 1 gen remaining with 3 stages on the board, Tavi.
Yeah, I mean, 3 stages on the board. Imagine if Ranger did not have the machine learning proc in the distance, and like that gen just popped in time. He got the 10% haste, managed to catch up to Maya. I'm sure Maya is wondering what happened there on the 4 lane, but it was machine learning. So I guess Gaffy did bring that in the previous drop, so I think CatJam might have an idea. But still, it's troublesome because again now this death coming in just like slightly sooner. You know, that chase being slightly cut short might just mean that Vanger can get a couple more stages. Okay, tries the Sin Kartek. Unfortunately, does not get the break though, so we'll have to just use the claws instead on this other side and force a zone onto Fizz. But I haven't been paying attention to the gen split, but it seems, yeah, look at that. It's not doable at all for Vanger to hold. But he only needs, again, like with Fizz, only needs 2 more stages onto First Survivor, and then that should be enough to take away a victory. But it's still completely doable on our side of Survivors. Like Vanger can take 1 bad chase, overcommit once, and things can spiral completely out of control. And we can see this Vanger is actually just using the portals. And maybe trying to fake a rotation, but CatJam's just playing it really, really safe here, and no one's found, which is really, really good. And unfortunately, they're not on gens, but hopefully you can see someone get on the gen soon after this chase. But this survivor here does have a jungle gym actually, so they should be fairly safe, I think, as long as Gaffy doesn't get mind game, which they don't. Beautiful pathing here should extend this chase, and Vanger again.
He gets hit through that? That's crazy. Nah, Ranganet needs to be nerfed. That is absolutely criminal right now. I do believe she made that scot-free, and now she's able to crouch that. Unfortunately for Ranga not being able to get that down there. And just, I dare say, this is going to be a 2-tap. Unfortunately, that will be the 3rd fresh off the trial. And all Ranga has to do at the moment is just camp Gaffy to death. And that will be the win for him. In the survival. It's a lot.
Wait.
Tiebreaker, no 3 fresh hooks, Tavi. If she dies on hook, that means that's 7 stages anyway, because he has the fresh onto Fizz, so he doesn't necessarily have to move too far away from the hook, but he's going to try and apply more pressure, and we do catch out Fizz, and this is looking pretty dire for our survivors at the moment, especially if we can get this quick early down onto Fizz. If you're Ranga here now just trying to mind game this rock filler over at 7, doing some really nice camera flicks and mind games around, but Fizz still playing it really well, and unfortunately not being able to break that pallet. Is Ranga going to be eating the tree there a little bit, buddy, unfortunately, but still, nevertheless, Chase is going to be continuing on all the way down to the deep 6 side of the map, and the survivors are probably all doubling that generator over at 12. This will be the, I believe, the 6th hook of the match. Yeah. So, he's basically won now. He gets this hook. He's won. Really well played to Sanity. Really well played to CatJam. Still, unfortunately, not for them not being able to pull back the win. Still hurts my soul to say that. I mean, I do have CatJam at heart, but yeah, still really well played to Ranga. Still really well played to Sanity. They definitely deserve it. They played super awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give out a shout to CatJam. Like, they are a team of seasoned veterans, I would say. Definitely compared to me, at least. But they've been in the scene way longer than I have, and to only have like just a bit over a week to prepare for 2 matches, really against no matter what other team like you're playing against, they have just like those extra bits of games, bits of practice, and you know, that edge over CatJam. And I don't know. I don't know what I would have said if CatJam was fully prepared, perhaps, for this match, fully practiced up, fully, maybe not oiled up, I should say, but you know, fully, yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever, let's ignore that. But if they're fully prepared, we'll be seeing potentially much closer results here, because Sanity have definitely proven as well that they are capable of being a threat here in these brackets. But yeah, 2-0 to Sanity, so well played. Gaffy's still doing a good job holding chase here. Should be able to make this 4 lane and extend this, but oh, okay. Just missing that. Ranganet's not strong enough, Hunter.
I don't know about that, Tavi. I mean, we saw what it did over at 2, and it's going to still opt to loop around this dumpster filler, not quite making it. But we do get the last generator procced in the process. If only we could have had this a little bit earlier on in the trial. Unfortunately, Gaffy being able to play around this pallet really well still and go down, and that will spell the end for her. But now, Ranga opting the slug here, he's getting a little bit greedy and ahead of himself. What's he doing? He's out for blood. He wants more. He's going to be going all the way down to the 3 door, but I dare say they just get that open and they're just out, to be honest. But it's still a really close game. Definitely it still kind of went down to the wire. Realistically, you know, there was definitely when you're working with stages and you're working with like, in the end, if Gaffy dies, well, Gaffy will be cooked. It'll be. Hold on, let me get the.
Eight,
let me get the
it'll
score.
be 8, I think.
It'll be 8. Yeah, it'll be 8. So that's still really close to 6. You know, it looked like the game was a lot more in Ranger's favor, and it probably was to some degree. But wait, are we able to get Gaffy out as well? This might be even like even closer. I actually think she's just out.
Yeah, and 6 stages, of course, kind of.
Ranger.
It was enough. It was enough.
That's
That's all that matters.
Wait, so it's even closer than I thought now. That he wins on fresh
One
hook.
fresh.
Oh, that's insane.